interviewing Mr. Giovanni Kouzalis from A&G Kouzalis Law Office in Paralimni and G Kouzalis LLC. This video is specifically done today for a website called cypruspropertylawyers.org. We felt it very necessary to put this website together for the law office to focus only on Cyprus property, the purchase of Cyprus property, and all the legal aspects and the things to watch out for. We want to present people with what to look out for on cypruspropertylawyers.org. Mr. Kouzalis, welcome.
Freddie, thank you.
Let's discuss cypruspropertylawyers.org. Is it still safe to purchase property in Cyprus?
Freddie, yes.
Why?
I'm very adamant on that. Cyprus is still a place for a good opportunity for somebody to live, for somebody to invest. However, you have to be careful, as you are all over the world, with your actions. Proper due diligence must occur, and you have to take certain steps before you purchase a property. People must be aware that things are happening globally, so twice have your eyes open, be alerted to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Now, I've been in Cyprus 6.5 years. I love this place. I won't go anywhere else. My family is safe. It's really the place to be if you can be here. If your skill set and the business that you have can allow you to live here, it's the ideal place to live. But exactly what you said, you have to be cautious, you have to know the systems, you have to know how things work, and you have to know what to look out for before investing money anywhere. Just like anywhere else in the world, but here specifically, because the systems are different, we're sitting with a language barrier, and things work differently. Now, I'll ask you another question. If you, as a solicitor that's lived in the UK for 12 years, know how the UK works, know how those systems work, came back to Cyprus, set up your law office, how would you go about purchasing a property from a developer in Cyprus today? What would you look out for? What would you check? Please tell us.
Thanks for asking this question, because it's giving me the opportunity to stress out certain things. As a legal office here, we can support people in two ways. First of all, if they want to purchase something, we can help them with the due diligence, and I will explain how and what people should seek on those due diligence in the preparation. And if they bought a property and they have some issues, we have ways to help them to remedy the problems they have. If I was purchasing a property now, I would definitely appoint an independent solicitor. You have to check your solicitor. You have to make sure that that person represents you. It's a trustworthy person. You can find out in the market. Speak to people that will let you know it's definitely an independent solicitor. Do not be fooled by the agents or by the developers stating to you that, oh, come with us, we will give you a nice package, we will give you your contracts, and we will help you to go through.
So what they're doing is they're saying, we'll supply the lawyer, we'll supply everything to you.
Yeah, or they will supply their own contracts.
Okay.
Do we expect that a developer will provide a contract on the best interest of the client?
Absolutely not.
Of course not. And who's going to have some responsibility on that contract if something goes wrong? So definitely do not be fooled by the developers, do not listen to the agents, seek your own independent solicitor, because that person will definitely provide you with the assistance that you need.
You know, what I find from all the stories I've heard is that people are penny wise and pound foolish. Rather spend that extra bit of money, get your solicitor to protect you and represent you.
If the developer wants to help you to save money, why don't you give you a bigger discount? Or why don't you give you the money to pay your own independent solicitor? Why they don't do that and they say, oh, come with us and we will do that. We had many cases all over the island, in Paphos, in Famagusta, in Larnaca, that big developers and big agents, they have done that. And people now, they're in difficulty because
Contract is one-sided.
of course it's one-sided. You go through contracts and you're really astonished from the things that these innocent people they have signed, because they know, they expect that somebody who legally represents them will do the work for them.
Okay, so while we're talking about contracts, do you have a set contract that you have in place to where you preempt all these problems and protect people with?
We have our own contract, which contracts we adapt every single day. If we need to do that, it's a contract that we have developed through the years, through our experience, through things that they have happened, through things that we expect to happen. We are very cautious, Freddie, on that. We do our due diligence. First of all, we do not start a contract unless we do a search on the land to make sure there are no charges, no encumbrances, loan.
Okay, so getting back to my question, solicitor, solid contract to protect myself,
Yes.
and now you say check the land for?
Before you purchase. Usually it's an off-plan, or even if it's a ready one, you have to make sure that that developer does not owe a huge amount of money that will never be able to repay. Because even if we have the new legislation about the title deeds, how would you get a title deed if the developer still owes a huge amount on the land? There is a new legislation which hopefully will come out. The developer has to pay all the money they owe still to the bank, pay their 10-20% income tax that they have to pay, or any tax they have to pay on the profit they have made, and then you will get your title deeds. So even if
it's like a never-never scenario.
People have to be very careful.
Okay, so how will your contract prevent me from getting into that never-never scenario?
We create our due diligence before we create the contract, and we perform the same due diligence just before we take delivery. On the delivery, the land has to be free of charge, no encumbrances, no loans, nothing on the land. It's still there is because it's a huge project, it's a big project, and it can be a proportion of the original loan. We will seek a waiver, and the developer is obliged by our contract to give that waiver on the benefit of the client, which technically says that your plot of land or your flat on the specific floor is out
of the mortgage.
Of the mortgage, yes.
Okay. How long would it normally then take after that? If the waiver is in place and my apartment or my property is released from the mortgage?
The developer should immediately, according to our contracts of course, to take all actions necessary to get the approval of the certificate of final approval. With that, it's a matter of months or weeks to get the title deed. We had an instance about a very well-known developer in Larnaca. We were selling the property. They sent us the information, planning approval, final building, certificate of final approval. It was there before we even do the contract. It was a fantastic thing. My clients were happy. We told the clients that. People in the office said, Giovanni, look at that. No, this is the first time. You have to check your developer as well. Do not just go on the bigger one. Just go on the one that is they're fanciful, they speak to you nicely. Get everything in writing, and your solicitor will help you to get the way your way through.
Okay, so now we've discussed to check the land, to check the mortgage, to make sure there's a waiver, so as to release the property from the mortgage, so that you can get your final building permit and then your title deed.
Of course, and that's coming through planning approval, final building permit. Do not take delivery if there isn't a final building permit. That's with no water, no electricity. Be aware of that. Whatever they tell you, you have to be get the evidence in front of you that there's a final building permit before you take delivery.